So 4 was the beginning of the what's referred to as the Thorn trilogy. Let's get into the Thorn.
We're going to do that now?
We're going to do let's get into that. I mean, it happened so early in the movie. So they set some of this up in 4, but 5 is where they really drill this home. They're like, no, this is what this new trilogy is about.
Tattoos and yeah.
Right. So throughout the film, we get shots of the Thorn symbol, which is like a P.
Yep.
I'll put it up on the screen here for a second. Immediately at the beginning of the film, when we see Michael and he's like recovering from the hermit, show his wrist, and he now magically has this thorn tattoo, which at no point in the series was ever shown.
Right.
Yeah. Whatever. He now has this. So what is the thorn symbol? What the fuck could that be? So Loomis in this movie is like constantly yelling at Jamie because he thinks they have some sort of psychic link, and he drops. There's like a little bit of a foreshadowing and a clue here. He goes, "There's a reason he has this power over you. Did you ever wonder what it is?"
There's a reason why he has this power over you. Did you ever wonder what it is?
So they say that line because it's like, okay, why do they have this telepathic link? It immediately cuts to a shot of a man in black getting off of a bus. And it's like a cartoonish looking man in black. He's got like a black duster, all black on his clothes, black pants. He's got black shoes with like metal tangs on the end. Apparently that character was influenced by Johnny Cash. That's what I read. It was like, because Johnny Cash is always the man in black.
Sure.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, sure, whatever. So we get this mysterious figure that comes off the bus. It's just a bizarre shot. But then they show, oh, the man in black also has the thorn tattoo on him. What could that mean? So then throughout the movie, while Michael is like going around killing people and Loomis and the cops are trying to stop him, they keep cutting to shots of this man in black. They never show his face, but they just keep showing him. Sometimes it's like his feet, sometimes his back, but there's constant shots of the man in black. There's also more shots of the thorn symbol. So earlier in the film, when Loomis is looking at, he's looking through the Myers house, like the actual Myers house. We see on the window, there's the thorn symbol. I don't know if you caught some of these. The thorn symbol appears in the background. So there's one on the window. At one point later in the film, there's like a little thorn symbol on the actual wall behind Loomis, and it's like a blink and you'll miss it moment. There's also on the window behind Jamie at one point, you see the thorn symbol. They just keep constantly putting this out there.
They are ramming this down your throat.
Right.
Right. Like we need this to be a part of this movie, and you're going to like it, and we're going to overwhelm you with this. So I'm going to ask you, what did you think about this? What is your opinion on adding this supernatural element to the narrative that is Michael Myers?
Okay. Here's the thing. At several points in the series, it's not just the Thorn trilogy. The new trilogy did this too. They imply that there's something supernatural to Michael. At a certain point, see, this is why I like when Michael is just 1 and 2 and he's dead.
Right.
If you're going to keep them going, he's going to have to be supernatural. Otherwise, it just doesn't make any sense. At a certain point, a human body can only take being shot and stabbed 10 million times before you go, well, the guy's not human, right? So they kind of had to do that. How they chose to do it, yeah, I have the same opinion as you of like, I don't like how they did it, but I'm not against the fact they went supernatural because they kind of were written, like, what do you do?
You and I differ on this because we had the same type of argument with Jason, right? Yeah. Like, I don't feel like there needs to be any kind of supernatural.
Whereas I disagree.
He just keeps coming back, right?
Yeah.
And I kind of felt the same for Michael Myers. Like, yeah, he gets shot, he gets stabbed, he gets blown up, but he just keeps getting back up. He doesn't have to have some magical power. It's just, that's the way he is. You didn't get him, right? And so when they incorporated this, I'm like, you didn't need this to begin with, and you executed it so poorly. Like, it's religious and superpowers and tattoo symbols that we haven't seen before. It was too much new information that basically just broke the entire mythology behind Michael Myers. You know, this is the kind of thing that if you wanted this to be a part of it, it had to be a part of it right back at the beginning. You know, we talked about Nightmare on Elm Street. You know, they take the core ideas that come up in the first one, and then they expand on that, but they don't do anything that kind of breaks what you learned in the first one. This just breaks everything about Michael Myers. It's a brand new origin for why he's doing what he's doing. Now the whole, you know, Laurie Strode, connection is gone. Like, what's the point? Like,
well, no, it makes sense because the way they explain it. Well, they don't explain it in this one, but they explain it in 6. So let me explain it when we get to 6.
Yeah.
But basically, they change it so that they explain why Michael has to kill his bloodline. They explain that. Mrs. Blankenship, the owner of the rooming house, I think is a great character. She's like this creepy old lady that she barely says anything, and everyone thinks she's senile. But then it gets revealed. She all of a sudden has this great dialogue moment where they're all there, and she reveals, she's like, yeah, I used to babysit for Michael Myers.
Right.
He heard voices.
Yeah.
I love that. It's a great little callback. It's a nice little touch. But then to me, the real payoff is it turns out she's one of the cult members. I love the idea. I like the idea of a secret society that existed in Haddonfield that was using this small town to carry out their evil plot. I like the idea that there was a bunch of members of the town who we didn't know were actually cult members. They were hidden cult members because later on it shows Mrs. Blankenship is among the cult when they're at the end. And there's like an altar scene, and which it's a great set. It should be in a different film almost, but there's this fantastic set of like this creepy satanic altar. And it's like all the members of the cult are there and they're all like worshiping and, you know, and we get shots of like other people in the movie. And if you pay attention, you're like, oh shit, that character they're a member of the cult, including Dr. Wynn's secretary. I don't know if you caught that. She's one of the cult members.
Right.
Now the clever way of doing it would have been like, bring back, I don't know, like whoever survived 1, 2, and 4, bring them back. And it turns out they were cult members. That would have been even better. The way they do it is they show you a few characters in this movie and it turns out, oh, they're part of it. But it would have been way better in the original movies if they had brought characters back from the original movies, including the actors, and been like, holy shit.
Make a real connection.
Right. Yeah. If you don't want it to feel as tacked on, you gotta, it's gotta be a little bit more seamless.
You know what? I just don't like the idea that Michael Myers has been controlled by that he's a puppet for this even bigger organization that has like, why Haddonfield? Like, I don't know.
Hey, I'm not saying I like the idea. I'm saying again, these movies are low on my list, but I'm saying if you're going to go supernatural, I don't mind the way they did it. I'm not against the way they did it. You know, it had to do something.
Yeah. The whole supernatural anything for these, just bottom of the barrel for me.
Anytime, I knew you would hate this movie because this is the one where they reveal where Michael gets his powers. And this is how they explain it is
he doesn't have powers though.
Right. See, this is it.
He's not a magician.
They explain why he's like nigh unkillable basically. And he's got superhuman strength. And it's because he's empowered by the cult. The cult, he is he is the enforcer for the cult basically. And they have been sending him out to kill his own bloodline, his lineage.